Majamaa, mimi naomba ni bulanda. Nyinyi mnasikia Equity imevuta wase 2000 kazi kwa sababu ya nini? Conflict of interest. Alafu wale wamebaki hapo nye wameandikwa permanent, wameongezewa mshahara. So huyu msena alipodo kidogo mwenye kwa permanent pale kwa Equity alipo 65,000. Mimi naomba ni bulanda. Uvute mtu kazi time kama saa hii alafu Disemba. Bulanda.
Kama uko na side hustle, usiwahi ambia your colleagues uko nayo. Number 2, hiyo side hustle wasiwahi kukutumia any money to your M-Pesa, because I'm telling you one day your employer atakuja kuitisha a random lifestyle audit, na kama huwezi explain anything, even unaenda nyumbani. Equity Bank right now has fired over 2,000 staff. 2,000 because of something called conflict of interest. What does that mean? Equity Bank waliamka tu siku moja wakaitisha kila mtu M-Pesa statement zao ama bank statement. Then kama huwezi explain pesa yoyote kwa hiyo M-Pesa statement ama bank, hivyo ndo unaenda nyumbani. Na hivyo ndo all those people wameenda home. Inakuanga hivyo. So, we piga side hustle yako pole pole, lakini lazima ukuwe mjanja vile unafanya biashara huko nje, because tunajua mshahara wako kusustain. We know that very well. But on the flip side, Equity Bank wametoa their entry level salary from 65,000 all the way to 116,000. So, employers wanakuanga wamejipanga. By the time they're requesting for a lifestyle audit on you, they already know. They're just making the process to be legal so that in case you take them to court, wanasema, but we requested them for this information and they gave us this. But now, wakona evidence yote. I remember this time, tulikuwa tumekaa tu job, tumekaa hivi. It was around 5-6 p.m. Alafu, mimi nimeenda home, napigiwa simu na colleague wangu fulani ananiambia, wewe, unajua nani amekujua na ma-DCI kazini? I'm like, what do you mean nani amekujua na ma-DCI kazini? That guy ni msempole sana, ananga maneno mingi. So the entire night nimekaa hivi tu, niko na nini. So asubuhi the first thing nikaenda kwa office, nikamwambia wewe, nani ameshikwa? Nani alishikwa, alitolewa na mapingo hapa. Mwanzo kwani alifanya nini? Nikamwambia hatujui, but tutajua tu by nini within the day. So now tuko job tu, watu wanashangaa tu, watu wako rumors, because let me tell you one thing about that guy. That guy was very polite and everybody loved his work. Ni jamaa alikuwa yani, ukitaka kitu kifanyikiwe huko finance, yeye ndo alikuwa anafanya hiyo kazi bana. Alikuwa anajua kazi yake. So now, then kukawa na hizi systems zinabadilisha procurement nini kila kitu, as in things were just happening in this business. And so everybody was curious what's going on. So now eti jamaa amekujua na DCI nini. So after mimi nikaenda kuuliza people who actually I knew that particular information, wakaniambia mimi hawezi niambia, but wanaweza they spoke in parables. Wakaniambia ati Charlie alifind a loophole kwa system ya finance, alifind a loophole. Na hiyo loophole akaitumia, I won't go into details because tulikuwa nafanya nao kazi, wataelewa naongelea nini. So now akafind a loophole in the system and alikuwa anajifanyisha payments, and it had been happening for a very long time. Audit discover, and I think a few clients had been complaining that no receiving payments. So kukakuwa na investigation. So as in wakafanya investigations, eventually wakafind out ni yeye ndio akona hiyo access, and that's how they came for him. And there's just story ilifika wapi, but I think from the rumors sasa alikuwa anasema tu alipatwa tu option, either resign ama alirudishiwa pesa yote. I don't know. I didn't even care to find out more information about this particular thing. So if an employer is going to do a lifestyle audit on you, by the time they're sending you that particular email, they already have enough information on you.
Hizi niliongelea money laundering, ikakaa ni mchezo. So Equity has fired over 2,000 employees na kesi ya conflict of interest. Acha nieleze. It was very simple. Kama hauwezi proof kwa nini uko na excess money than what you earn, ulikuwa unaenda home. Simple. Kama statement yako ya M-Pesa go in excess of what you earn, na hujasema uko na side hustle, na uwezi explain mali hiyo do imetoka, ulikuwa unaenda home. Ulikuwa unafutwa hapo na hapo. So unawezaje kuona maybe 30,000 na statement yako per month inasema almost 400,000 500,000 per month? Hiyo ndio income yako per month. Ukipiga per year what you receive versus what is in your M-Pesa ama your banks, zina exceed na far much beyond. Na huwezi explain Nilisema hii kitu kama mchezo. Money laundering is a crime in Kenya.
Equity Bank imefire around 2,000 of its employees over what it said is conflict of interest, and wale wasi walibaki na ni permanent and pensionable wakareziwa their salaries to the least amount being 65,000. So kama uko PNP pale Equity, the least amount mtu analipwa sahi ni 65,000. Sijui kama ni gross ama ni net, but then that's a huge number to have for conflict of interest. Yeah. Probably need across their branches in Kenya that are over 100. You put that into perspective, maybe if every branch has someone, then it would be maybe 20. 20 is a lot.
Equity sacks workers in this bank. In this bank, is it called Equity Bank or Equity?
Where is some of Lunataka? I know. Call it as you wish. Equity.
Okay. There's a front page photo here of the group CEO, James Mwangi, and it's called Mwangiwa Equity. Okay. So Equity Bank sacks workers over suspect accounts and M-Pesa. The bank has fired scores of workers after an internal investigation revealed suspicious transactions through the employees' bank and M-Pesa accounts. The sackings began last week following investigations that kicked off on April 14th as the bank seeks to curb cases of conflict of interest among its staff. The probe focused on employees who received cash from customers or other entities linked to the bank, including workmates, into their salary accounts as Equity Bank or their registered M-Pesa numbers. Workers who could not explain the sources of cash in their salary accounts have been issued employment termination notices with a window to appeal within 14 days to the bank's managing director. The total number of staff affected by the purge, which touched nearly all branches in the country, is yet to be disclosed. And the Equity Group CEO, James Mwangi, said the restructuring was ongoing and targeted at doing what? Workers cited for conflict of interest. He emphasized that the sackings are not a redundancy plan, arguing that the bank is in fact planning to hire more workers to serve its growing customer base. So the sackings come months after the bank lost 1.5 billion through a web of fraudsters with insiders at the center of the theft.
Okay. 1.5 billion shillings is quite a lot to lose. I mean, for a bank, but it's still a lot of money. I love that he had to clarify this is not...
It's not redundancy.
It's not redundancy. Yeah,
redundancy signals that, we are struggling. We are not struggling.
We're doing good, but we do have some false... what would I call them? Some bad apples that we're trying to weed out. I'm wondering about data privacy. Are you allowed as an employer to
look into my bank account? To
look into my bank account, even if you are my banker? Now that's one. Number two, into my M-Pesa. That definitely you are not Safaricom in this case. So how are they getting access into their employees' M-Pesa? There's a big question around data privacy there. I mean, investigations need to happen in cases like this, but is this due process? I'm very curious. I don't know how this...
Yeah, it's a good question you're asking.
It is a very good question. Data privacy laws.
Yeah, but also because there's that, and then there's the other, laws on bank fraud, on proceeds of crime and anti-money laundering, and so on and so forth. If they invoke that, because you see that Pokamla law, proceeds of crime and corruption and
money laundering,
then they say, we have to come and check all your incomes. And then we look at all the money that you have and all the wealth that you have. That is basically just infringing on your privacy.
So would that be the authorities, or would that be your bank?
The boss, the employer.
The employer, yes.
Yes, that's a good question.
It is a good question because it says the bank had a senior fraud manager for payments. It also sourced a senior manager for security, governance, and technical assistance, and a fraud risk analyst. So Beth Kidenji, who was hired from CBK, she served as a director for internal audit and risk management to be its chief internal auditor. So there must have been something that an alarm went off, and then because they had these people, they were able to, I think maybe in some way of due process, get into the data. But yeah, you're right. It would be very interesting to know.
Maybe there's somewhere where you sign as an employee of the bank, and they say, all right, so if the bank wants to, is investigating fraud, with the central bank anti-fraud unit and all, we can then check.
Have access to your.
Because this is what some of the letters were saying. It was established that you received amounts into your account number and or M-Pesa number account under circumstances that were irregular and unethical, and which involved and or were connected to bank customers or entities with a relationship with the bank. Consequently, management has decided to terminate your employment effective immediately in accordance with the provisions of the bank's consequence management policy. Your actions mentioned above amount to gross misconduct and are contrary to the group's code of conduct and work ethics. Your actions have also undermined the trust that the bank had in you as its employee, making your continued employment untenable.
Okay.
Where?
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
But also, I'm just like, if people were doing fraudulent activities, I don't know, you really take that money into your salary account? Maybe that's just me.
There's other ways.
I'm not suggesting, but I'm like, into your salary account? At the bank where you work?
These are those people who watch the crime channel. Missing a ship.
I know.
Honestly.
Missing a ship.
Thinking if it was me, why? How could you make a stupid
Yeah,
mistake?
surely.
As if I'm the criminal mastermind.
Leaving your fingerprints everywhere.
Yeah.
Are you seeing? We
wear
might go
gloves.
down a rabbit hole and guys are like, oh.
You can't wear gloves. Sorry, we made
Sorry.
it. You can't wear gloves.
You can't wear gloves, surely.
I mean,
such
basics.
everybody knows.
The other headline.
The people who watch medical dramas and they think, give me 30 cc's of Nana stats. You know, you're like, mini daktari.
Or you start, appearing pale and they're like, bring your hand.
I want to check for pulse.
Fine.
Your pulse is faint. Can I?
You're good. I think just lie down here.
Oh, God.
Right.
And that time, or somebody who was worked at a hospital, right?
Right.
It doesn't matter. They were in admin, they were in accounts.
Right.
Never interacted with the patient in terms of treatment. They were just dealing with the patient in terms of payment. Huyo anakufanyaga hospitali. Endo muone. Ongelesha Mariam. Na Mariam anafanya kwa hospitali.
Umesema ati kichwa imekoma for how long?
Oh my.
Hiyo si malaria.
Hiyo si malaria. Hiyo najua ni bilharzia. Like, how would you know?
Ati black chocolate ni fine melanin bana kutoka nikapate. Kanapenda kenye mi wanapenda, so kanapenda toto chupa na hali ya nono.
Madam na kudai, umedunga mini na unapenda mangwai. Una dance fit, unawacha nikismile. Ama niko high, jua lies, nice.
Kono moja mbele, gini yende rembe. Baila, baila.